Greetings, my friends. Please consider supporting me in my war to save pop culture by subscribing to my channel and possibly even becoming a channel member for exclusive videos, access to Doomcock emojis, and more. And if you like this video in particular, please consider using the new Super Thanks feature and putting a tip in the tip jar located next to the like buttons down at the bottom of the video. Thank you for watching, and now, on to the video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am here today with more news of karma slapping the mouse ears right off of Disney's collective head. Yes, my friends, Disney's terrible choices are finally hitting them hard, and in a very public way that is very, very difficult for Disney to ignore. Lightyear has performed much worse in its third week of release, and now it's looking like the film will ultimately lose money, and a lot of it. But that loss of funds is nothing compared to the loss of status, reputation, and cachet for the Disney and Pixar brands, and it lends a great deal of credence to those of us who have been warning Disney to cut out the woke crap and get back to making wholesome and politically neutral entertainment for the sensible center of the American mainstream, instead of trying to dam up the works and rechannel the American mainstream to the American extremes. In this video, I will break down the latest bad news for Disney provided to me by my Hollywood spies, including the mind-blowing box office bomb that is Lightyear, along with some alarming statistics about how badly Kenobi really fared on Disney+. These stories illustrate a pattern of decline for Disney Plus and the Disney brand in general, and give more ammunition to Bob Chapek in making a better tomorrow for Disney, one pink slip at a time.
Alas, poor Disney. I knew it, Horatio. A company of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. Before the dark times, before the wokeness. Do you think that wokeness is the reason for this decline, or is it something else?
I would hesitate to pick one simple answer, Harvey. I think lousy writing, and in the case of Star Wars and Lightyear, canon violations and hostility to the fan bases of these franchises certainly contributed to Disney's decline. But the woke tide is turning, and more articles are appearing in the mainstream media specifically throwing shade on wokeness and saying it's time to abandon wokeness and return to the sensible center, as I've said all along. You know that wokeness is in trouble when you start seeing articles like this one at Newsweek titled, "Disney's Woke Crusade Has Gone Too Far." And mind you, this is not some little website. This is Newsweek magazine, a venerable publication on a par with Time magazine that's been around for decades. In this article, the author writes, quote, "One of the most extraordinary features of the culture wars, or cancel culture as those who have been on the sharp end of the woke trials pitchforks call it, is that organizations who wake up late to wokeness will invariably court the favor of those who are not their natural audience at the expense of those who are. Thus, we see a company as long beloved as Disney now abandoning its core family audience and instead catering to every whim demanded by the woke mob, a move both ineffective and, as we are seeing, unprofitable. Case in point, Ms. Marvel. It's unlikely that Disney creating a Muslim superhero will lead to a sudden Taliban epiphany and the subsequent empowering of schoolgirls. More likely, it will just make more non-Muslims feel that the powers that be never stop scolding them for their alleged white privilege. That's not the only case. Not one blue-haired, non-binary cry bully will suddenly think, oh, I must catch up with Disney's entire back catalog, after hearing that Baymax, an inflatable robot, has asked the advice of a transgender man about what sort of sanitary product he should offer to a 12-year-old girl, unquote.
I beg your pardon? Are you fucking with me? Disney put out a video where a robot is buying sanitary pads for a 12-year-old girl and asks a person of trans for advice?
I am not fucking with you, Harvey. This is indeed the case. Yes, my friends, it has gone this far. And it can go a long way toward putting the tales of Disney woe I'm about to relate to you into context. Case in point, the crashing and burning of Lightyear at the box office. This is no rumor. This is publicly available fact. Lightyear is a flop that's flopping harder each week. Minions: The Rise of Gru broke the box office record for a film debuting on the July 4th weekend, raking in a staggering $125 billion domestically. Compare that to Lightyear's paltry box office premiere weekend at $50.6 million domestically, and once you consider how badly Lightyear did this week, you will know that Lightyear's failure is complete. This week, Lightyear dropped to number 6, beaten even by a low-budget horror movie, Black Phone, whose box office success has largely been due to word of mouth from satisfied viewers. Imagine a thing like that. Lightyear dropped 64% from last week, at which time it dropped 61% from its premiere. So this is a disaster, straight up. Lightyear made less than $10 million this week, which is unprecedented for a theatrical Disney Pixar film at this point in its run. This means it's entirely possible that Lightyear will ultimately lose money. One more sign that America has had it with Disney. And now we come to some rumors provided to me by my Hollywood spies regarding how badly things are going for Disney+. At this point, I must state that what I'm about to tell you is information provided to me by individuals who claim to have knowledge of the situation inside Disney, but since I cannot independently verify any of this, I must present it as unverified rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt.
At this point, it looks like Disney will need some of Baymax's sanitary pads to stop the rectal bleeding. Commune with us, Doomcock. What have you heard?
According to a source claiming to be inside Disney, people are bailing on Disney+. Here's what I was told. While this source is not entirely sure why people are bailing, my source states, quote, "they most certainly are," unquote. One could say it was Kenobi driving people away, and indeed, Kenobi did drive people away. I'll have that report here in just a few minutes, but this particular subscriber exodus didn't accelerate till last Thursday. This source initially speculated that Ms. Marvel might be the problem. This source claims Ms. Marvel is struggling to get over 400,000 views an episode, which is not really all that good at all for a subscriber base of such size. The source also speculated that lack of compelling content could also explain the declining subscriptions, but the source investigated and tried to correlate the loss of subs to any particular show that dropped close to when the exodus started, and lo and behold, surprise, surprise, it's another Pixar project that coincides with subscribers bailing, the Baymax short, where the robot is shopping for feminine sanitary products.
Not exactly Snow White, is it? I don't remember any Disney shorts like Mickey Finds a Tampon or Massengill Mini. Guess this is what happens when Disney loses its way. Leave the child rearing to parents, Disney. Don't be so fucking presumptuous.
Disney thinks it knows best, Harvey, but Disney clearly doesn't know diddly about squat. Consider now the train wreck that was Kenobi. Kenobi was so bad, people. I have personally spoken to a number of YouTubers who started out with Star Wars themed channels who are now deciding Star Wars is done and they're planning to rebrand their channels and cover something, anything, other than Star Wars. Apparently, the public is similarly inclined if this rumor is correct. I've told you guys in the past about tune-out times, or TOTS as they are referred to in the industry. Disney and other streaming channels track viewer engagement and make a note of when viewers turn off a particular show. When have viewers had enough? That's what they want to know. Ideally, viewers should stop watching a show at the end of the show, when the show is over, no duh. But that is not what happened with the final episode of Kenobi. According to this source, on Wednesday, June 22nd in the afternoon, I received the following message: Kenobi early numbers are not so good. 2 million so far, but it gets worse. Over half the viewers at this point didn't finish the show. Around 61% tuned out at various points during the program.
So a sizable majority of viewers did not make it to the end of the final episode of Kenobi?
That is what I was told. There are 3 points where the tune-out times spike, but I have not as yet been provided info on what those particular points are. But that is a very telling thing indeed. This was the finale of Kenobi, the final battle between Vader and Obi-Wan. The audience watching this episode were the ones who could stomach the crap that came before. So these people were even pre-filtered, an audience that wasn't already driven away by the shitty writing and the canon violations and Reva, the bestest ever. So this was the best audience Disney was gonna get. And even this audience that had the intestinal fortitude to suffer through 5 episodes of this garbage could not make it through the shit show final episode. The slow death by strangulation of the Star Wars franchise has moved now into the final terminal phase. Disney can talk about Andor all they want to. The simple fact of the matter is, if you can't make a successful Star Wars show starring Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen reprising their classic roles, you just can't make Star Wars. Audiences have finally realized this. Disney Plus is losing subs, Lightyear is spiraling down, and Payback is a bitch. We are watching a Disney reckoning unfolding before our eyes. I have foreseen it, and have been talking about it for years now, and now it is here. In an odd way, I think this bad news is actually good news for the company long term. I believe that each humiliation Disney faces only empowers Bob Chapek to make the changes he needs to make, pink-slipping Disney onto more solid ground and beginning the laborious process of changing the culture and getting America back on Disney's side. But it's going to take a long time and a lot of proof to reverse this disastrous trend. Disney will endure much suffering before things get better, if they ever do. That much only time will tell. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.